Good morning class 12 students. So this is your subject physics, chapter number 14, that is electronic devices, and lecture number 2. So in lecture number 1 you studied about various semiconductors, that is intrinsic and extrinsic, and you came to know about intrinsic semiconductors which are pure. Okay, so today we will be discussing extrinsic semiconductors, and before that I'll be explaining you the energy bands of solids, in which you will come to know more about energy and the interatomic spacing between the atoms of a crystal. So let us begin with the energy bands of solids today. Okay, so before drawing the graph between energy and interatomic spacing, let me tell you a brief idea about a silicon crystal. Okay, so as you know, a silicon atom has 4 valence electrons. Okay, so a single silicon atom has 4 valence electrons, and here I am taking a silicon crystal which has suppose n number of atoms. So now, as I told you, due to one atom you will be having 4 valence electrons, and if you have total n atoms, that means total number of electrons, or you can say total number of valence electrons in silicon crystal will be 4n, right? Now if I talk about maximum number of electrons which are possible in outermost orbit of silicon, so that you know, that is 8. Okay, so now this is for a single atom. For a single atom, the maximum number of possible electrons is 8. So therefore for n atoms that will become 8n. Okay, so what does this means? This means that overall in a silicon crystal, for 4n electrons, total 8n energy states are possible. And as you know, for a silicon crystal or for a silicon atom, this is the electronic configuration. If you are saying 8n energy states are possible, so 2n energy states will be possible in 3s level, and 6n energy states will be possible in 3p level, because obviously 2 electrons can be there in S for a single atom and 6 electrons can be there maximum in P. So 2n energy levels are possible in 3n and 6n energy levels are possible in 3p. Okay, so now if you know this brief, now let us talk about the main diagram between energy and interatomic spacing R. Okay, so this is the graph between energy and interatomic spacing small r. Okay, so what we are doing, just we are bringing n number of silicon atoms close enough to form a single silicon crystal. Okay, and we are taking A to be crystal spacing between the different atoms. Okay, so now this is nothing but electronic configuration of your silicon atom: 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2 and 3p2, right? Now as I told you, there are 4 valence electrons in a single silicon atom, but here we will be talking about silicon crystal. Okay, so the first point in this diagram is when R is equals to D, that is when your atomic spacing or interatomic spacing is equals to D. So as you can see here, the interatomic spacing is very large, therefore there will be no interatomic attraction, or you can say there will be no interatomic interaction, and all the energy levels are discrete. That is, you can say that when R is equals to D, there will be 2n electrons which will be filling 2n energy levels in 3s. See, as I told you, there are total 4n electrons for which 8n energy levels are available. So because in 3s you can have only 2 electrons, so therefore if you talk about a crystal, 2n electrons will be there and 2n energy levels will be there in 3s. But for 3p you will be having again 2n electrons but 6n energy levels. So in 3s level, 2n energy levels are there and they are completely filled with 2n electrons, but in 3p 2n electrons will be filling 2n energy levels in 3p, but total possible number of energy levels in 3p is 6n. So you can say in 3p 4n levels will be empty and 2n will be filled with 2n electrons. Okay, so do not get confused between this. There are 4n valence electrons and 8n available energy states for them. Okay, out of which 2n are in 3s and 6n are in 3p. Okay, so now if we decrease the interatomic spacing, that is instead of D, if we come in this region, that is when R is lying between C and D. So again, as you can see here, the energy levels are again discrete. So again here also we can say that there is no splitting of energy level between C and D. Okay, so now we have studied about up to this region, and a very interesting question is there. If I ask you, as I told you, in 3s there are total 2n levels, and in 3p there are total 6n levels, but I have shown only one line here. Why? If there are many levels, many lines should be there, but only a single line is there in both of them, because this represents that all the energy levels in 3s are having same energy, and all the energy levels in 3p are also having same energy. Therefore we are having a single line. Okay, so now this is about between C and D. Now if we come, or you can say if we further decrease the interatomic spacing, and let us talk about the point when R becomes equal to C. So if you see it in the graph, at this point, if you see, for outermost orbits, what is happening? The energy is starting to change, or you can say the change in energy is becoming appreciable at this point. And why is it happening? It is happening because at this point C, interaction between the outermost shell electrons will become appreciable because the distances decrease. So you can say when R will become equal to C, at that point interaction between outermost shell electrons will become appreciable. Therefore the energy of different energy levels will now start changing. Now if you further decrease the your interatomic spacing, and you come in the region when R is lying between B and C. So if you see, for this there are different energy levels, that is there is a great change in energy level of outermost shells, and therefore you are having different energy levels, and if you can see, the difference is going on decreasing, right? So you can say when R lies between B and C, there is a change in energy level of outermost shell electrons. Now what will happen if you again decrease the your size? So see, if you talk about this point only, it is slightly decreasing. After that it is again going to decrease, and this is the point where the energy gap has completely disappeared. So this is the point B. So you can say when R will become equal to B, then energy gap between 3s and 3p will completely disappear. Now if the energy gap has completely disappeared, can you tell which levels are of 3s and which levels are of 3p out of 8n levels? Obviously it is not possible. So therefore you can say at this stage levels are continuously distributed, and out of total 8n levels, 4n are completely filled and 4n are completely empty. This I have told you earlier also, right? So this is the state when R is equals to B. Now if we further decrease the interatomic size and R becomes equal to A. Now see, at this point, as I told you, all the energy levels are continuously distributed such that 4n levels are completely filled and 4n levels are completely empty. But when you come at A, which is crystal spacing, if you see what has happened, those 4n completely filled levels get separated by the 4n completely unfilled levels. So the 4n completely filled levels will fall in valence band, and 4n completely unfilled, you can say unfilled levels will fall in conduction band. So therefore valence band is a band which contains valence electrons and is filled, and conduction band is the empty band. Okay, so you can say when R will become equal to A, again energy gap Eg between 3s and 3p has appeared. Now valence band corresponds to filled 4n levels and conduction band corresponds to 4n empty levels, and the gap between them is nothing but energy band gap. Okay, so after all this discussion, you can say each energy level splits into a number of energy levels which forms a continuous band called energy band, and this you have studied in fifth point, right? That energy levels are forming a continuous band, and each band will now become a energy band. Okay. Okay, so now we will be studying about extrinsic semiconductors, which are impure semiconductors. So first of all, let us study how intrinsic semiconductors are converted into impure semiconductors. So the method through which pure semiconductor is converted to impure is called doping, and obviously doping is done to increase the conductivity of a semiconductor. Okay, so what is doping? It is just the addition of impurity atoms to a pure semiconductor. So when you will add a impurity atom to a pure semiconductor, that is called doping, and after doping the conductivity of that semiconductor will increase and it will become an extrinsic semiconductor. Okay, so now the impurity atoms which we add in the pure semiconductor are called dopants. Okay, so impurity atoms are called dopants. Now whenever we do doping, we have to take care of 3-4 points. So the first point is that presence of the dopant should not disturb the crystal. That is, if in any crystal you are adding dopants, then presence of that crystal should not disturb the crystal. Now can you tell me how it will not disturb the crystal? Only when its size is equal to the size of atoms in crystal. Okay, so it's like this is the second point only, that the size of dopant atom should be equal to size of crystal atom. Third point is that concentration of dopants should be small. Obviously impurity should not be in a very large concentration because you are adding impurity, so it should be small. Okay, and the fourth point is that dopant atom should not take position of semiconductor atom or the atoms in crystal. Okay, so dopant atom should not take their place. It should be having its own place between the atoms of the crystal. Okay, so now let us study about extrinsic semiconductors. So as I told you earlier also, extrinsic semiconductors are of two types, and extrinsic semiconductor is an impure semiconductor, and we will be studying two types, that is N-type and P-type. So first of all, let us begin with the N-type semiconductor. Okay, so N-types, so we will be studying one by one 5 points about N-type semiconductors. Okay, so the first point is that N-type semiconductor contains a pentavalent impurity. And what do you mean by a pentavalent impurity? That the impurity atom should have 5 valence electrons in its outermost shell. Okay, so for N-type we will be adding a pentavalent impurity. An example can be phosphorus, bismuth, and there can be many atoms which have 5 electrons in their 5 valence electrons in their outermost orbit. Okay, so now let us see what will happen when you add a pentavalent impurity, and I am taking bismuth in germanium in your germanium crystal. Okay, so as you have drawn a diagram in the lecture 1 also, so same 4 germanium atoms I have taken here, and there is a 1 bismuth atom in between them. That is, in a pure semiconductor I have added 1 impurity atom of bismuth. Now because as I told you, bismuth is having 5 valence electrons, and as you know, germanium shares 1 electron by the adjacent atom, which I told you in yesterday's class. Okay, so what is happening if you talk about only this bismuth? Its 4 valence electrons will be shared by the adjacent germanium atoms. That means 1 electron is left free, right? Or you can say 1 electron is extra there because it does not need now that electron. So in B point you can say each impurity atom donates 1 free electron to the crystal. Obviously because it is extra, so it will donate this electron to the crystal, which will be free to move. So in N-type, pentavalent impurity is added, and that impurity atom will donate 1 free electron to the crystal. Therefore this impurity atom is called donor atom. Okay, so remember, in N-type semiconductors, impurity atoms are called donor atoms. Now as here I have added only 1 bismuth, that is 1 impurity atom, which has led to 1 free electron. So similarly, as many impurity atoms are added, you will be having that much free electrons. So you can say conduction in N-type is due to free electrons, and therefore n-type is an electron-rich semiconductor because each impurity will give you a one free electron. So therefore in n-type semiconductor, number density of electrons is greater than number density of holes. Now the question arises, okay, we have an electron by adding an impurity, but how a hole comes here? So same holes will come by the breakage of covalent bonds and as it occurs in intrinsic semiconductors. See, due to the addition of impurity atom, a free electron is coming, but breakage of bonds will also be there, due to which free electrons and free holes will be present, right? So, but because due to addition of impurity atom, extra electrons are added, therefore in n-type, concentration, or you can say number density of electrons, will be always greater than number density of holes. Okay, so now the D point is very interesting, that this n-type is electrically neutral even when number density of electrons is greater than number density of holes. So how can we conclude this? See, whenever, as I told you, this bismuth will donate one electron to the crystal. So as soon as it donates one electron to the crystal, it acquires a positive charge. That means for one free electron, it will acquire plus one positive charge. Similarly, all the bismuth atoms will be acquiring positive charge on donating electrons. So that means one negative, one positive, it will cancel out. So therefore, the crystal becomes electrically neutral. So n-type semiconductor has high number density of electrons, but still it is electrically neutral. Okay. And the sixth point is, electrons are majority charge carriers and holes are minority charge carriers in n-type semiconductors. By majority charge carriers, you mean nothing but that which is in higher quantity. So obviously electrons are higher quantity, so they are carrying much more charge of n-type. So electrons becomes majority charge carriers and holes becomes minority charge carriers of n-type. So these were the main 5 points which covers n-type semiconductors. Now the question is, how by adding this bismuth impurity conductivity is increased? Because as I told you, by doing doping we are doing nothing but we are increasing the conductivity. So we will see how conductivity is increased by the energy band, by drawing an energy band of n-type. Okay. So as you know, energy band is nothing but a valence band, lower valence band and upper conduction band. Okay. So now what will happen? As you know, due to addition of impurity, free electrons are generated, but due to addition of this impurity, free electrons are generated which have slightly less energy as compared to lowest level of conduction band. That is, electrons are present in valence band initially, right? But as soon as you add, or you can say as soon as the bismuth will donate that electron will have some energy, but that energy is less than this level, that is lowest level of conduction band. So these are those electrons which are donated by the bismuth atoms. So there will be another level formed in which all the free electrons due to the bismuth atom will be present, which level is called donor state or Fermi level. This level, okay. So now if you understand it carefully, bismuth has donated some electrons which have this much energy. That means now you have to apply only this much energy to take these electrons to the conduction band. And as I told you, electrons are free to move in conduction band, which leads to conductivity. So initially when there was no doping, you have to apply this much energy, or you can say electron requires this much energy, but after doping only this much energy is required to go in conduction band. So you can say a very less energy is provided or required which will take many electrons to conduction band. This means that conductivity is increased. For example, if you were initially applying 3 electron volts and let's say only 4 electrons were going to conduction band, but now by applying 3 electron volts, a very large number of electrons will go. So you can say only by 1 electron volt your 4 electrons will reach in the conduction band. So that means conductivity has increased by doing doping or by adding a pentavalent impurity which makes your n-type semiconductor. Okay. So this was all about N-type semiconductor. Tomorrow we will be studying about P-type semiconductors.